Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. We're back to walking and talking. It's been a while, huh? Well, it feels like it's been a while for me anyways. Well, today we're gonna be talking about, well, you already know, I'm talking about Mexico. Every time you see me with the camera walking around, it's always Mexico. But we're gonna be talking about Trump, the USSA, and Mexico, and the relationship, and what's going on there, all right? What the hell is going on? Well, I don't know if you guys have been living under a rock or not, but last week, Mr. Trump came out and said that he's gonna start tariffing Mexico and, you know, going after Mexico and all that shit that, you know, we know he's famous for. And I actually made a video about it. I actually made a video talking about all that stuff, and it was pretty popular. You guys were, you know, enjoying it and all that shit. And it was great. But anyways, one of the main questions that I was getting asked after that video, oops, sorry, a little something. Anyways, one of the main questions I was getting asked after that video was, is it safe out here? Is everything okay out here? You know, what are people thinking out here? What's going on out here? Well, let me give you the short answer. Literally, ever since Trump got elected, the Mexican people have not been very happy with Trump and not been very happy with our government. But the reality is that, remember, people out here are very smart. We talk about this shit all the time. And the people out here understand, and they can separate the two. Meaning, they can separate the shitty government and the shitty president from the people. So even though they might not like the president, and they might not like what's going on with the government, what's going on with the wall, what's going on with all the shit, they still like the people. They love the people. They've never had a problem with the people. So, you know, that's where that stands. That's where that stands literally right now, and moving forward. So, you know, ever since, you know, Mr. Trump has been, you know, saying the whole tariff thing, and you know, the whole immigration situation or whatever, the people out here, all they've done is just double down. They've doubled down even more. So, you know, what happens is that, like, all of a sudden now, you're watching on local, you know, social media, or you know, just on the local media, and you're seeing people like, what is it, like, if you like, for example, like, there was this one video that my girlfriend showed me, where if you show up to this taco stand in the city of Mexico, in Mexico City, I'm sorry, if you show up to this particular if you show up to this particular taco stand in the city of Mexico, they actually and you show your Huawei phone. So you go to the taco stand and you show your Huawei phone, the guy was actually giving away tacos. So, you know, you see like the little video of the guy running a promotion, you know, like, oh, we got to boycott, you know, the US or what have you. Show me your Huawei phone, and in the show of solidarity, I'll give you some free tacos, and, you know, shit like that. A lot of people are, you know, just saying, fuck it, you know, fuck the US, you know what I mean? Like let's start, you know, boycotting Coca-Cola and boycotting a lot of these American corporate companies that are just doing no good out here anyway. Not everybody, but they understand, you know, what's going on, you know, and like what certain corporate interests they got to go after. So that was very interesting as well, you know, where they're just, again, showing solidarity, and not just as a country, but against, you know, the American government, the US government at the moment, and what's going on over there with that. And it's really interesting. It's really, really, really cool. But again, you know, just to, you know, reiterate, you know, Mexico doesn't hate Americans. They just don't. They don't hate United States expats, okay? They don't hate anyone like us. They just don't. They understand what's going on. In fact, you know, as they see the shit hitting the fan, you know, as they're, my hair okay? All right. Gotta make sure I look sexy. All right, there we go. So as they realize what's going on, you know, if anything, they're bracing themselves for the fucking influx of gringos. You know, a lot of them, they realized the natural resources that this country has, the superpower that this shit could be here. They understand that 33% of the world's silver comes from here, and so on and so forth. So let me see if we can. So with all that being said, so with all that shit being said, yeah, sorry, it was just a guy on a motorcycle behind me wasn't paying too much attention, and I get wondering, we're gonna get run over by him. But so yeah, like I was saying, they're fully aware of what's going on. So right now, as Trump is saying, Trump is saying that the drug problem, the whole drug situation, that is Mexico's fault and Mexico has to fix it. Look, Mexico is fully aware 1,000,000,000% that the drug problem has all to do with the U.S. It's all 100% the U.S. So now all of a sudden Trump is out there saying, hey, you guys got to fix that problem, that fucking problem that is fucking up the U.S. or whatever. Most Mexicans are like, saying, really? Go fuck yourself. Are you fucking kidding me? We ain't fixing shit. And if we're going to fix it, it's for our interest, not for your interest. And the fact that you're telling us what you're telling us, how dare you? You guys are the ones that were bringing, all this shit down here. You're the ones that are bringing, all the guns down here. You're the ones that are creating the massacres. You're the ones that are creating, the poverty. You're the ones that are creating the drug fucking problem, and so on and so forth. So again, how dare you? So that's literally the collective of all Mexicans right now, because as you guys already know, what the fuck is going on out here? What's going on with not just the poverty, but the drug war. And every Mexican has been affected by that. Literally every has been affected by that. So when people say like, oh, it's dangerous out here, for regular people it's not dangerous. For a regular citizen it's not dangerous. For tourists ain't dangerous. For the majority of people it's not dangerous. But if you're involved in any kind of shady anything, it's extremely dangerous. And just this year alone, like homicides have gone up by like 45% in just like the first few months of the year. So it's only getting worse. But it's the United States of America that is making it fucking worse. And that's the fact. I mean, everyone fucking knows this already. Maybe the typical American might not know that shit, but that's the fucking facts. And that's literally what's going on right now with that. So they're all really insulted. They can, as soon as he was saying that shit, they were all pointing to exact situations in which the U.S. was like directly involved with killing innocent people down here, or selling guns, meaning like the CIA or other government agencies selling guns directly to the cartels. HSBC, the banking cartel, which launders the money for all the cartels down here, and so on and so forth. They all know what the fuck is going on. So of course they're beyond insulted, but they know that it's not the United States of America people. They know it's not you guys. It's just the fucking government and the corruption that goes with it. Because again, they don't trust their own government out here, and how the fuck are they going to trust the government of the fucking evil empire? So, but they realize that it's not the people's fault. It's not necessarily the individual population's fault. So right now, most Mexicans are extremely insulted, but they're not really worried. Most of them understand that right now, what's happening is temporary. Meaning that, right now, like the peso is losing value. The economy might be fucking hit pretty hard in Mexico for like the next few months. But at the end of the day, they're going to come out winning, because, they got China as a fucking trade partner. They got the rest of the world as a trade partner. And the rest of the world is also losing America as a trade partner. So, Mexico's not really worried. They're really not. If you ask, like, let's say, like a housekeeper, a taxi driver, whatever, they're probably a little worried because they don't understand the complexities of things. But when I talk to other people out here that have actual businesses and they actually sell abroad, they're like, man, we don't give a fuck. It's actually going to be easier to have China as a business partner, to sell my whatever the fuck it is they sell out here or create out here, than it is the United States with all their stupid rules and regulations and taxes and fucking bullshit. So again, the typical Mexican is not really giving a fuck. If anything, remember, we've already talked about this. Most of them realize that that the end of the dollar is right around the corner, and you know, they can't fucking wait so that their peso or their local currency, whatever country they're in, you know, starts increasing in value. So, and becomes sovereign. And, you know, again, like if all of a sudden all currencies around the world start getting reevaluated, you know, whether it's gold or silver, you know, a country like Mexico is sitting fucking pretty as hell. Because again, if they mine, or they have 33% of the world's silver within Mexico, that makes them pretty fucking rich, right? So that's not including the oil and, you know, the real rich oil reserves that no one ever talks about that Mexico has, and so on and so forth. Again, Mexico used to never export any oil, and they used to, you know, be able to be self-sustainable. But ever since the United States corporations, you know, came in here, just like they did in Venezuela, just like they did in other countries, all of a sudden now not only do they export oil, but now they also have to import oil. And that's why all the oil and things like electricity are expensive as fuck out here, when they shouldn't be at all. So if the US wants to leave Mexico, listen, no one out here is going to be complaining, all right? Like, honestly, the only ones that are going to complain and not be very happy about it are other US corporations, are United States of America citizens that don't understand what the fuck is going on. Everyone out there that eats avocado toast, oh, you guys are the only ones that are going to be pissed off, you know? And again, you know, when I was reading a lot of these comments in the video of that I did the other, you know, last week, talking about this shit, and a lot of people were like, oh, this immigration problem needs to be fixed, oh, we need the wall to be fixed, and blah blah blah. And it's like, bro, are you and by the way, Republicans and Democrats and everyone in between, you know, saying that thing, it's like, you guys have no idea what the fuck is going on with immigration at all. You know, you guys actually think that, you know, these migrant caravans or some shit like that are you know, are coming because things are so fucking horrible and so bad, and it's only gonna get worse and shit like that. But man, look, man, the whole thing behind those migrant caravans, again, you know, you can just do a little research out there. But you know, my parents are migrants, okay? Most Hispanics in the United States my age or a little younger, you know, our parents came from whatever country. And there was never no such thing as a fucking caravan or any of this shit, okay? This is something brand fucking new. And, you know, it's been happening in the last several years. Now you got to ask yourself, well, how did these things come about? Where did they come about from? How, you know, why all of a sudden we have these caravans and shit? Well, again, to give you a long story long, literally what happened was that, you know, the United States of America went to countries like Guatemala, Salvador, El Salvador, Honduras, you name it, and they started recruiting people to come to the US. So they went to all these rural places that barely have fucking TV and or any kind of signal, and they start telling all these people, hey, come to the US. If you can make it all the way to the US, we will grant you asylum. So a lot of people started doing that. And then when they started getting over to the border, well, what happens when they get to the border? They tell them, hey, you can't be here. You can't, you know, you shouldn't be here. And so on and so forth. And so they get these mixed signals. Also, if you know what's going on in these individual countries as well, you realize that it's the United States of America, you know, creating these cells of, you know, sorry. Gracias. It's like walking and talking at the same time. But anyways, you know, the United States is creating these, you know, these terrorist cells, you know, whether it's fucking MI13 or, you know, the drug cartels or whatever the fuck it is. You know, this is all a creation of the United States of America. So a lot of these individuals that never wanted to leave their countries had to leave all of a sudden, kind of like overnight. Because, you know, as each day went on, their own home just became more violent, more oppressive, more horrible, and it's all because the United States of America literally deporting the worst of the worst fucking people back to these countries. But the reality is like what would happen before was that, you know, a lot of times when there's these you know, when there's these a lot of times when the US goes to these countries to tell people, hey, come to the United States for asylum. All right, hold on. a lot of times, all right, I'm gonna wait here. But anyways, a lot of times what happens when like a lot of these, when the United States goes to a lot of these countries to give, you know, these people asylum, to sell them the idea of this asylum that the United States is gonna provide. Once, you know, when the people start leaving, you know, the majority of the people that first start leaving these countries are the undesirables. And when they get to the United States of America, which is the case of what was happening recently, you know, they get to the United States, they start living in the worst fucking neighborhoods. They become gangs. They start, you know, infiltrating our inner cities. And you know, that's a whole MI6, MI16, whatever the fuck MI13 thing started. Because it's like, just think about it. No matter how hardcore our hoods are, you know, these people come from even worse situations. So they come to the US, they can't find work, they can't find anything, they can't find anything, you know, they can't find any way to survive. But all of a sudden they're on the streets and they know how the streets work. And they fucking take it full advantage of that. And eventually they, you know, have these crime rings. They get all tattooed. They get ultra violent. Some of them go to jail. And all of... Yeah, hey guys, sorry about that. I had to go in the store and cool the camera down for a second in the AC. Let me see if I can finish this. But like I was saying, at the end of the day, all these individuals are going to the US and getting hardcore training. Literally getting super hardcore training so that they can be the most hardcore fucking gangsters in the world. And then they get sent back to their own countries, and then the havoc that they create down there is insane, because, you know, now all of a sudden they have all this criminal knowledge on how to do the whole, you know what I mean, like a mafia style running of a city, of a town. And, you know, next thing you know, these people can't live in Guatemala anymore, or Honduras, or El Salvador. So when the next time that the US envoy comes in and says, hey, you know, you guys want to come to the US, all you gotta do is just get on this caravan and get over there, and everything's gonna be all right. Then what do people do? They literally do that, because overnight their fucking home has become fucking pure hell. And then they just go on this little trek, and then once they get to the fucking border, you know, they're you know, in for a rude awakening, in which they're not allowed to go into the US, and you know, allowed to go into the US. So yeah, you know, that's literally it right there. Yeah, sorry about that. Distractions. I understand why some of you guys out there don't like this camera view angle, but you know, to me, I like it because it keeps me on my toes, and it's like, you guys can see I don't really edit. I'm just like talking and walking, and whatever comes to my mind is what I say, is a 100% unfiltered truth. With that being said, guys, I really hope that today's episode was a little enlightening and was able to shed some more light into the situation on here. And also, you know, just to make sure that you guys aren't scared or afraid of coming out here or being out here. That, you know, most people, especially in the area that I live, you know, they're very sympathetic to the idea, to the knowledge of, you know, our country falling apart. That, you know, it's, you know, they understand that, you know, shit's going down, and that it's not the people's fault, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be suffering due to this. But at the end of the day, you know, they're all very sympathetic, and they're on our side. You know, we're all in this together. They understand, and they're not, it's not, Mexicans are not United States citizens. You get what I'm saying? They're not going to think like United States people do. So just get that through your mind, all right? They're actually nice and hospitable, and it's just very different, man. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thanks to all my patrons. Thank you to everyone out there that, you know, is continuously, you know, sending little donations here and there. Lambo is very happy. You know, he gets to eat on a regular basis now, and he's not afraid of being eaten. He's not afraid of being eaten by me anymore, and all that good stuff. But anyways, I digress. Thank you so much. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon, please follow us on Discord, please check us out on Twitch and BitTube and DLive, and on Twitter, on Instagram, all over the place, all right? Don't forget to stay awesome, and I'll see you guys on the intranets. Have a good day, or rest of your day, or afternoon, or good morning, or whenever the hell you're watching this. Anyways, bye.
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.